I think Chris Mason has a lot of work, Kyle, to do, because there is a natural question that we as players have to ask ourselves, and that is, what is and is not canon anymore? With the departure of Steve Denuser and the coming on of Chris Mason, where do we draw the canonical lines in World of Warcraft? Is the Shadowlands still canonical? Now, there are some things from the Shadowlands that Blizzard seems to have kept, but then there's also a lot of storylines from the Shadowlands that Blizzard have almost completely let go of. What do you keep? From my perspective, the first thing that you have to completely do away with is the jailer being behind everything. The concept that the jailer has been pulling the strings literally from the start. The jailer has been playing Sargeras, playing Sylvanas, just playing everyone. To me, is an incredibly limiting story trope, and also does not keep. It's not within keeping of the characters that he mind controlled. So if you told me that the jailer simply mind controlled Arthas, I can believe that. If you even told me that the jailer managed to mind control Anduin, I would believe that. But think of the character that they chose to make the jailer mind control. Or fool. Sylvanas. Now, he never mind controlled her, but he fooled her. Now, why, chat, do you think I have a problem with the concept that the jailer managed to fool Sylvanas? What possible reason do you think I could have for not liking it? Sylvanas is the most distrusting individual in the whole of Azeroth. Maybe just Matthias Shaw would be more distrusting than Sylvanas. If you think about Sylvanas' entire history, you think about her entire story, Sylvanas has been betrayed. She understands betrayal better than anyone. She would be the last person to just blindly follow power. Especially considering the fact that she knew, according to them at least, that the jailer is the one that made Arthas. So the entire story simply falls apart on that front. And then you compare that to Sargeras. If you think that there is a more distrusting character than Sylvanas, then that would be Sargeras. He trusts no one, right? And he's also considered to be a strategist. So he is intelligent, very intelligent. And somehow the jailer also managed to play him to a T. The entire storyline is just nonsense. Now, so that's the first one that I would just completely let go. I would then probably also start sprinkling in a bit of whispers about the Primus. I think that there is more than enough evidence within the Shadowlands that the Primus is at least a questionable character. Does that mean that the Primus is just a full-blown bad character? No, I'm not saying that. But there is definitely questionable activity within the Primus. So I would like Blizzard to maybe lean on that and have the Primus be a bit more of a villain-esque kind of character. I think we should then also have... now, keep in mind here that all of the suggestions I'm making here is trying to keep the Shadowlands largely intact. Not all of the stories can survive, because I think that there are storylines like the Sylvanas one that is just unsalvageable. I don't know how you sell that story to the player base that makes it believable. So I do think some storylines you would just have to fuck off and say, well, clearly that's not going to work for us. But for the most part, I'm trying to keep it in sort of largely intact, and I want to make it work at least to the best of my ability. On that, I would say start sprinkling doubt about the operations of the Shadowlands. You already have the groundwork for this laid in Bastion. What happens in Bastion? Aspirants arrive in Bastion, and then their memories are wiped. Those who fail to completely lose their memories are then sent to re-education camp, where their memories are maybe forcefully removed them. We never actually got to see what happens in the Temple of Re-Education. It has a different name, but I can't remember what it's called now. But you have to go to this temple. And so clearly Blizzard wanted originally to make Bastion a questionable place, which for some reason the Newser decided, nah, never mind. We will not be doing that anymore. So I do think there is definitely and yeah, it is odd that the memory wiping of Bastion and the memory wiping of the Earthen is done very similarly, right? It's like almost like these Titans and Eternal Ones really don't like people thinking for themselves. Then you look at Revendreth, and Revendreth also very questionable in the things that they do. You look at the Necrolords, more than enough evidence there that the Necrolords may have in fact acted upon less than noble missions and may have done less than noble things during their time. So I personally, the only realm that I think you can largely keep as is would be Ardenweald, even though there might still be a couple of questions with Ardenweald, like for example its connection to the other side. Why exactly Loa are also born in the Ardenweald might be something that you want to explore a little bit more before you make that canon. But I do think you are in sort of like a prime position. And this is very rare that you can actually say this, just FYI. Blizzard finds themselves in the prime position to retcon an expansion and have the players celebrate the reckoning. This happens very rarely. Most of the time, people lose their shit when things are retconned. But Shadowlands is so universally despised by the player base that if you retconned it, most players would actually celebrate that rather than be annoyed by it. So I do think this, if there ever was a moment or an opportunity to retcon an expansion, this is the one. This is the one that Blizzard should go with right now. But I also think sooner rather than later would be my bet. You want to get it done as quickly as you can.